Okay, they have a quorum today. Okay, so here we are at the Social Services Commission meeting, October 12th, right? October 12th. They actually have a quorum today. And there were 2 police officers. I didn't have time to write an extended commentary, but I'll be all right, I guess. I heard something about we're going to have our 3 minutes, like we have to earn it or something. No, I think we have a right to speak.
Yes, there is public comment. Oral communication, number 1.
There's 2?
On 6.
There are 2 communications.
Yes.
I have, this is the second, this isn't, okay, Social Services Commission. Okay, and you'll notice how Bob and Jimmy are talking, but Aurelio, they're not talking. And there's Miss Scotto. There are 4 people. Where's Mark Reagans? Okay, here we are. Okay, not a lot of people showing up. That's too bad. Okay. Okay, so we got a lady over there. She's got her camera out. Okay. I'm gonna move. Isn't that a violation of the Brown Act? They're having discussions.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, not on the agenda.
Okay. Fair enough. There's Mark Reagans. Hey, Mark. You don't have the mustache.
No beard either.
No beard either.
Did you lose it in Yosemite or? I shaved off last November. Beard mustache. See me last time. Why do I feel like? Well, I guess sometimes you do let it go though, a little bit. No, I've been shaving every day. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makes it 4.
They have a quorum today.
Are we on? At this time, I'll call the Wednesday, October 12th meeting of the Social Services Commission to order. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Kyoto,
Here.
Vice Chair Matucci,
Here.
Commissioner Reagans,
Here.
Commissioner Scotto, here. Chair Gow,
Here. And is the excused absence an actual thing, or are we just a placeholder for that? Okay, very good. And Commissioner Scotto, would you please lead us in a flag salute?
ready, begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, no invocation.
Staff, have a report on the posting of the agenda.
The agenda was posted on October 7th.
Thank you. And item 5 on the agenda is commission announcements. Start down on your end, really, announcements?
No announcements. Nope.
No, thank you.
Go ahead.
A couple things. One is, first I want to apologize for last month, that I got the date confused and came on and didn't realize it was on the wrong Thursday, and that caused a lot of people to waste a lot of time, and I'm really sorry.
I'm going to need your help to hold the flag.
I don't really have any excuse, it just happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hair shirt for you.
But I agree. The other thing, this is also the spot for things that we learned that were interesting along the last were together, right? So last week I was at a community psychiatrist conference in Washington, D.C., and one of the sessions I thought was worth sharing one piece about was a set of policemen who work in mental health and trying to keep people off the streets and out of jail with mental health problems. And one of the things that policemen said, I've heard many times this business, it says more veterans kill them, die of suicide than die on the battlefield.
Yep.
It turns out that same thing is true of policemen. More policemen kill themselves than die in the line of action.
I bet.
Along the way, I didn't realize. And so one of the things they talk about when they made these collaborations of mental health and police was some is the ones we've got here going on in Torrance with these teams, with the homeless team working with the mental health outreach team, or the team with the police and the social worker riding together. But they also work together on items of police mental health. When police are responding to something, or they're overwhelmed or depressed or suicidal, police themselves, and also things about community mental health. Where there's some community disaster, something were to happen, that's often the police and the mental health can collaborate on that as well. And I realize that doesn't fit easily into one of our 4 sections, but I think as it is under the city and social services, that if we actually have better collaboration between police and mental health that's been building to help the homeless people, that could also be useful if at some point we end up with some major disaster in the city or something that needs a combined response to those things, that they'll already be used to working together and partnering on those things for the community's health as well. And I thought that was an interesting detail that I've never seen in process anywhere else, just for us on the back of our head.
And a couple of things.
They're going to drag it on so we don't
I
comment.
had the opportunity to go to the Coffee with a Cop. We do those frequently here in the city, and one was held at the Coffee Bean on Hawthorne, and spoke to a number of the police officers. And one of the things that seemed to be of interest in terms of us continuing to do and maybe even expanding is that TMET program that is part of our response to our homeless population, and that would be something that we could look to focus on. So wanted to share that input I received from several of the officers, that increasing training would be definitely a thing, and expanding that program as well. Also, just as a general note, I would like to remind everyone that the election's coming up November 8th, and the deadline for voter registration is October 24th. So everyone make sure that you're registered to vote, and there's ways to check to see if you're registered. With that, anyone else? Okay. Moving on to item 6 of our agenda. Oral communication number 1, limited to a 3-minute period. Comments on this portion of the agenda are limited.
He doesn't
to
sound
items
comfortable.
not on the agenda and no longer than 3 minutes per speaker. Under the provisions of the Brown Act, the Commission is prohibited from taking action or engaging in discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. Is there anyone that would wish to speak? Your hand up.
Well, isn't that interesting? I have my name signed down. Why am I being skipped?
Well, it's not being skipped because I have something to address with the
Okay, but wait a minute. I was signed there. Why am I being delayed? That's very disrespectful.
If you're signed in, then you can go first.
Okay, that's not how it works in Torrance City Council. I'm
No,
sorry.
he's saying you can now.
Yeah, thank
Let
you.
me sign in too.
Okay, go ahead. Because this was oral communications. Yeah, and so I'll go and then you can go after.
Partner, I apologize. I didn't realize that there was a signed in list that people
It's
had signed
right
in.
there.
Okay.
So, okay. Don't you find that interesting?
So, who's our first person signed in? Is it Arthur?
Right there. Thank you. Okay. Wow, I'm used to that in Huntington Park, not in my own city. My name's Arthur Shopper. I'm a lifelong citizen, longtime resident of Torrance. I am now speaking to the gentleman who was part of a disgraceful, abusive, and criminal protest in front of the Veterans Foreign Wars Hall in West Carson, September 25th. You stood there and you justified one of them stealing a phone. You actually blamed the other man. His name was Johnny Mall. That's beyond disgraceful. That is criminal. People were spit at. I have the names of two of the gentlemen now. Doug Kaufman, a violent thug who stole a phone from someone else at another protest. So there's a pattern here. And Victor Quintero, who has quite a record of his own. It is a real shame to me that as a member of president of the Beach Cities Republicans, I have to consult with the police in order to have a meeting in this city. You were part of that group. You advertised the protest. You showcased members of West Cal Academy informing these violent thugs where to go and how to disrupt. They broke the law. They were on private property. Mr. Kyoto, I hope you're listening loud and clear. You are a veteran, and I thank you for your service. My father is a veteran, too, fought in Vietnam. He was a Seabee. I don't know why you think it's funny, and I don't understand why you think it's okay, Mr. Gow, to use social media to blast and shame people, calling them racist, when I have one of the most diverse selections of friends and colleagues that anyone could imagine. I've worked with Asians for Hadley. I have worked with Hispanic communities where I am the only white person in the room. And you dare to call me or any colleague on this dais racist? Sir, you are the racist. Your behavior is inappropriate. And she thinks it's funny. That's sad. But that's what we're dealing with right now in this city, I guess. Putting you on full blast, man. Shame on you. So, for you, I just want everyone to take a look. He thinks it's funny that veterans were spit at, that property was trespassed upon, crimes were committed. It's not funny, sir. And as far as I'm concerned, your chairmanship should be removed. We have 4 people here who, if they have the courage, can take that. And here it is again. There is Mr. Quintero and Mr. Gow with the same smile on his face, while we have an elected official getting the middle finger. I know the city is better than that. I have already submitted a number of complaints. I've submitted 2 now. First, about your behavior and your connections with this, and also with West Cal Academy's connections with this, because again, it was a key figure in that organization who informed people where this event was. This is criminal, this is immoral, this is unacceptable. And it's on record that you have a city staffer who thinks this is funny. Of course, I can see why you wanted her to speak first. You didn't want to hear from me. Again, I'm used to this kind of dishonor in Huntington Park or Cudahy, but now to see it in Torrance is really